You're not in the mode where success is gonna happen for you. You're in a great place. You're not going to get sick, but you are not gonna necessarily get blessed to the extent that you're not gonna get sick. And so a lot of you're not getting it, but that's what you own. Like, that's why you can't receive correction, because you actually created a world where you're not trying to gain. You're just trying not to get hurt. That's different.
This week, our show is brought to you by our partner in crime, Organifi. Organifi is an organic superfood supplement line that makes quality, trusted nutrition convenient and accessible. Their most popular product, green juice, can supercharge your life, restore that glow, and help you feel decades younger in just 30 seconds per day without having to worry about shopping for ingredients, mixing and blending them, and then cleaning up afterwards. All ingredients are USDA organic, vegan-friendly, and made without GMO ingredients, gluten, or soy. Where else can you get superfoods like chlorella, moringa, spirulina, wheatgrass, ashwagandha, and turmeric, just to name a few? So make sure you guys check it out at www.organifi.com/success. That's ORGANIFI.com/success.
I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ, joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Wesley Phillips.
What's going on, y'all? What it do?
Oh, man, I got Dr. King in the building.
Let's go. Let's go.
Living that reality. Hey, did you build that brick climbing wall yet, Ball? I know.
Not yet.
But it's coming.
Architect is trying to figure out.
Yeah, which side of the Chicago you gonna build it on?
Trying to figure out the bungee cord that goes along with it. So it's so high. So
exactly.
Yeah, they say they want the kids to fall down.
You know what I'm saying? I knew CJ. I saw CJ had built one. I'm like, okay, as soon as this get out, Maul about to have a
Maul gonna have a waterfall down his mountain though.
I was trying to keep the kids busy, man. That's it, because they get a little stir crazy in this joint. So
which wall on the one bedroom apartment how did you
The
work
north
that?
side.
the north wall. The north wall. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. E, what's going on? You good?
Blessed, man. It's a blessed, man. Yeah, this is it's a good season, bro. It's a good season. Still waiting on these trucks though, Mom. I'm like, where they building these trucks at, bro? Like,
Hey, bro, why Tommy get a message yesterday? Tommy got a phone call yesterday from the Cadillac dealership.
Look, Maul. Hold on. I'm just trying to let y'all know it's Spartan time, baby. Just give me a second. You know what I'm saying? Look, come on.
Are we supposed to stand up, E?
No. You okay? You okay?
Fight for the only colors, green and white. Come on, man. Hey, they tried to keep us down this year, Maul, and we back. We back. Well, they thought we died.
Yeah, and I don't know who they are, but I think
They
some
tried
of them
to keep us down, and we back in
Fellas,
the
yeah, they
tourney.
back.
The streak continues 23 years in a row. Sorry, Maul, go ahead. I just, you know what I'm saying?
Illy second ranking. Y'all number 2 right now.
Yeah.
Well, somewhere
Ask them what happened when they played them Spartans.
I can't hear you. See, it's a bad connection. What you say?
Use your other ear. Use your good ear.
I got both ears are great. What happened?
Oh no! Hey, we know you got that. Hey, Maul got that Secret Service.
No, what you talking about?
You took it out.
Oh, look at you. See?
Let the people know.
I was saying.
Hey, you remember when that dude shot at in Maul's ear, and it went right over his.
It was literally that side too. No joke.
Yeah. Okay, what happened?
Tommy got a call yesterday from Cadillac dealership, bro, and he was like, the lady got on the phone and was like, Mr. King, we're just calling you to see how are you enjoying your 2021 Cadillac Escalade. I was like, Tommy said we haven't got him yet. Yeah, so they called yesterday, and she was like, oh well, they should definitely be on the way. So I was just saying,
Oh, really?
yeah, seriously.
I'm struggling, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah. Yeah, that was
Wait.
the call. Tommy got the call yesterday, bro. I was gonna call you.
E, what you gonna do with it? You already got a whip. You and D ain't going
I ain't got
nowhere.
no
You
whip.
ain't going nowhere.
I ain't got no whip.
You and Didi got the Mercedes out there.
She got a Mercedes. I can't
Said
drive
Diddy's-
that. I need to-
How many times has Didi left the house without you since y'all been out there?
Yesterday.
Cap.
Yesterday.
Where she? Yeah, right.
She went walking, see.
Exactly.
She went to the store without me. She made some Mexican, what do you call them? Some, I don't know, fire tacos. I don't never eat tacos, soft tacos though. But long story short, Ma, when you go from driving a truck to a car, and Didi got a Mercedes, like a S5, whatever it is, S500 series, whatever that is, bruh, it's like spoiled. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a spoiled car. It's like you gotta treat it a certain kind. Bro, I need a truck. I need to be able to run over stuff, run into stuff. You know, Didi don't want nothing, no scratches on. I'm like, I can't. The brakes, you like you braking too hard. I'm like, how you brake too hard? I'm like, I need my truck, but no, it's been rough, bro. But when I do get the truck, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. We are going to ride up, you know, US1. I guess that's what it's called. And you know, you can see a seal,
Pacific
whale.
Ocean.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ride up that joker when I get it, put the windows down and ride. Didi, I haven't done that with Didi's car, but yeah, I can't wait, Mo. I'm like, I've not been in a position where I haven't had my own car where Didi is like coaching me on how to drive her car. Like it's nerve-wracking. You feel me? It's nerve-wracking. She's coaching me. She coaching me from the passenger side. I don't scrub on the passenger side of my best friend's ride. Yeah. So
trying to holler at me.
Man, I promise. Literally hollering at me.
Yeah.
Not holler at me, hollering at me. Yeah, good.
Carl, what's going on in the Phillips household?
Man, we over here just enjoying. Spring looked like it came early for us, so we just getting outside, enjoying it as much as we can, man. Just relaxing and
Groundhog got his bathing suit on.
I'm talking about out.
He's out.
Yeah, I'm over here a little frustrated. I've been arguing with the pool companies on the phone. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Bro, my nerves is bad. Yo, I'm sitting here. Okay, so let me tell y'all this. Give me a second. So they call me more and say, oh, okay. I call them. I'm like, every year when I go to heat the pool, something wrong. Like you know what I'm saying? You don't use it for that many months. It's like trying to crank up a ride that, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. Even though I do all of the maintenance that they tell me I need to do during that time, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. So I call them, of course, the heater ain't working. So they like, oh, you know, it's a little old, so we need this, and this. I'm like, all right, cool. It come out to like $2,500, right? So I'm like, okay, it's $2,500. And mind you, I get done paying that and it still ain't working right.
Wow.
So I call them back. They like, yo, you need this, and this. I'm like, yo, how much is a new heater? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much is just the brand new joint? She talking about $4,000. I'm like,
After.
Wow.
so I was like, okay, all right, do me a favor. Take all of them charges off. Take everything off. We about to start new. Give me a new heater. Bruh, my kid's been dying to get in the pool. And it's warm outside, but you know, the water's still like in the 60s. You know, it's kind of still cold. Bruh, I get a brand new heater yesterday. I told my man, hey, crank it. You know what I'm saying? Crank it. I don't care. Put it at 90. Just leave it alone. Bruh, I go out there this morning. It's colder than it was when I had, bruh.
Put a cooler in your pool.
But you know what? Let me tell you how I matured, though.
He said he matured. He got a first world problem. He said he got a first world problem. He said how he matured.
No. This is I'm just saying because back in the day I probably would have. You know what I'm saying? I would have went off a little bit. But you know what's crazy? And I had this talk with maybe Lashana yesterday. The older I get, the more I want grace extended to me. And my dealings and my company and everything that I got going on. So I try my hardest now not to be over the top with other people in their business. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
y'all hear that though? He just said, I mean, we got this little baby here, the only one that ain't in the 40s yet, talking about the older he get. Why he's sipping on his little Similac right now. Out his little sippy cup. The older I get, I'm really enjoying this. Go ahead, nephew. Go ahead.
So again, I'm just, you know, Carl, I'm at that space in my life where the energy it takes to go off on folks and do all of that is just not worth it.
Ain't worth it, no.
And not to mention, we saw last week when E went off, and so that in my head, I got to thinking, if I go off on this dude and it turns out that he's a pastor or a priest or something, just with a part-time pool heater hustle, you know what I'm saying? Like, that could be bad. I don't want to live with that on my conscience. You know
Hell
bad.
bad.
So anyway, I'll let it go. But look like the kids would be just getting in the hot tub and calling it a day. But anyway, we shall see, man. It's a frustrating experience. I'll keep y'all updated. Definitely first world problems.
Bro, it's just the fact of owning a house, bro. It's just always something.
Terrible.
Wow.
Don't ever.
Don't y'all understand? That's the beauty of it. The beauty of owning the house is that it's always something. Like I love it, bro.
Thanks for the other side,
Mom.
Everybody ain't
Meanwhile,
got.
I gotta have a service worker. And see, like those of us got a house, we gotta keep having service workers come over every single day. So yeah, but Ma, that's a good thing, Ma. I got you.
That's what they say. That's because Maul got something going on, a project going on his crib at all time. This joker to put up all new walls in the house. I said, bro, when you do new walls?
Physical walls. People think we talking like, painting or a paint.
No.
No. Physical.
No, walls. Yeah, walls. I was like, bro, what is you doing?
Be like Mike. I could be like Ma. Be like Ma.
Ma, are you just trying to fix it before it go bad? Is that what it is?
No, it's not about fixing it before it go bad. It's about just adding, upgrading. I told you, I always gotta you see progress, right? Remember I was telling you about that before, Carl? I always got to see progress. And so even though I'm walking like my house, the foyer area, the first floor, it looked exactly like it did in the 1800s. It's got all the original woodwork and things. So this is what somebody has created in the 1800s. And then it seemed like the other family that moved in 1919, they
kept it like the 1800s.
They did a little something. They added a little bit. But it's like, all right, cool. What are the Kings gonna add? So I just always want to kind of add, So instead of just sitting,
was the swimming pool there in the 1800s?
You know what I'm saying? But no, just instead of just sitting there like, oh man, look what they did in the 1800s. No, look at because this house gonna be around for another 150 more years.
Yeah, and they're gonna have a pool, a tennis court, a climbing wall, new walls. Yeah.
Oh no.
Leave my imprint down. My man got his face in the fireplace and stuff. So I'm like, hey, we're gonna add, just keep adding to it and things like that. So
I ain't gonna tell you when you called and told me you was doing something with the fireplace, I was hoping you was saying you was gonna throw that away. Cause I ain't gonna lie, it's spooky. It's disturbing. You know what I'm saying? It's an old white dude with one of them curly mustaches. And his face just in the fireplace, bro. Every time I go by that room, you know what I'm saying? You know how when you was younger, you used to go down the basement, your mom asked you to get the laundry, and you like them last 3 steps, you just feel like a little demon on your heels. You know
Home Alone.
Oh, bro. You like, for sure something was down there. That's how you feel when you walk past my man in the fireplace. So Ma was like, nah, I'm getting them refurbished. I'm like, what? Man, get him out of there. But anyway, all right, cool. Let's get into it, man. Had a good conversation with some people. One of the things about doing the podcast, I guess, is that you can get feedback immediately. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, people call me more about the podcast than probably anything these days.
Or text me, or like, it's weird. It's almost like they use it to deal with me now. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't know what I said. It's like, hey, E, can you do this for me? But on the podcast, you said, so I'm not trying to, I'm like, the podcast. It's like,
yeah, it's crazy too that people like keep up with your life through it and you like forget. And so I had people hit me up and be like, yo, congrats on this and that. And then, Trey, hey, I'll be like, wait a minute. Oh, okay. You know what I mean? You listen to the podcast.
You listen to last year's podcast, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's getting caught up.
But, you get immediate feedback, right? And so after last week's podcast, man, I had people calling me and it was just like, yo, I feel like that's me, And if you need a refresher course, of course, we just talked about, for real, tricking your brain into believing something that's not, and not being able to see the true matter of what's going on, right? And so I hit E like, yo, man, I've been getting calls like people like, yo, y'all got to do a better job of talking about the solution and not just the problem. Right, because I heard, my man was like, yo, I heard you. And that is me. And that's like my vibe. Like, that's my bag. You know what I'm saying? I'm He is I and I am him.
I'm all in it.
And I said, I asked him, I was like, yo, how did you identify that it was you? And he was like, yo, you gave some steps on how to identify if it was us, but you never gave us any steps to really come up out of that. And so I was like, okay, well, how did you realize I was talking about you? He said, I just had to look at my life. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, I'm looking at my life, and it's not only am I not where I want to be, I am also further behind where I thought I would be at this time, And so, so I called E and I was like, yo, E, come up with something. Cause you the teacher. You know what I'm saying? You and Maul got you professors now. And I carried us last podcast, so I'm gonna try to, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta be something. Am I a professor? Yeah, well, I think quite deeply.
Exactly. So E, anyway, let's get some solutions to people, man. Let's talk more, solution oriented today as it relates to, again, not being where we want to be, tricking our mind into, thinking that, other people are the problem, blame, excuse making, the things that we do when we don't want to take full acceptance of our lives and where our lives are at and where they're headed.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. When you was talking right now, it's just like, wow, first thing came to my mind, when I left the crib. Well, I shouldn't even say when I left the crib. The thing that caused me to leave the crib, was like, I didn't fact check, and I got caught up, and I'm just taking y'all back to me. Okay, so I can tell you that where I made my mistakes was I was so emotional, right? I would get so emotional involved in something that it didn't allow me to think, reasonably, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So the very first one was I never fact checked with my mom about, my biological father situation. Like literally, my mother was the one that got pregnant. My mother was the one that had me. My mother did not abandon me. She was there my whole life. And again, it goes back to what we said last week. Why was I talking to other people about my biological father? I'm just saying, like, bro, why was I having a conversation with other people more about my biological father? Like, it's only two people that I needed to talk to about that. My biological father, right, who maybe I didn't know, and my mama who knew him. So why am I talking to other people about them? And why are other people's opinion about my situation? Like, why is it even in their mouth, Ma? Like, why is my situation with my biological, why is it even in your mouth? Like, why are you talking about it? And so for me, it was just like, yo, now that I look back, when C said it, I went there immediately and I was like, yo, I should have been talking to my mom. So instead of not talking to my mom, I talked to myself and I created in my own head.
Let me ask you a question. I never asked you this. I know you talked about, and again, we're going through this next project, and E, we're unearthing a lot of things. I never really asked you, obviously, you found out that there wasn't your biological father. At what age did you, because now that I have kids, I'm trying to before when you used to say it, I didn't have a bar to compare it to, you know what I mean? In terms of like, okay, Trey's 7, you know what I'm saying? Like, at what age did you really start to be like, okay, this is probably not my dad? And I know you had people around you who's kind of being messy and things like that, but what age did you start to be like, oh, okay, like.
Can I make it easy for y'all?
Mm-hmm.
The same age your kids start asking, is Santa Claus real? You feel me? It like your kids get to a certain age. I don't know, what is it, like 6, 7 when they start?
I'm not there yet because my kid's still geeked up. You know what I'm saying?
But I do remember you saying like Trey kind of went there a little bit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But you were able to.
He trying to figure out logistics. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm saying, so that was the exact same thing for me. I'm trying to figure out logistics. You feel me? I'm trying to figure out, I'm getting older now and I'm like, oh, I got 3 grandmas. Don't nobody else got 3 grandmas.
You know where I really felt bad for your mom though? She had to try to keep it up with your stepfather being 6'8" and you was
no question
4'11". That was that.
No, I'm saying
was
like no see.
When is my growth spurt coming?
I'm saying
he was on 10.
You know, I'm saying no.
He thought he was going to the league.
You know, I'm saying see joking, but that ain't no joke, bro. That was my life. Like that was literally me going places and.
Nah, I feel bad.
No, I'm just saying. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying you got to understand. I grew up in the hood, Ma. So folks joking you. Like, there ain't nobody letting that go. You feel me? Like, my boys ain't letting that go. They jabbing. So for me, that's when it all started.
But were they jabbing like your dad tall and you short, or were they jabbing like that ain't your dad jabbing?
No, they come on, bro. It's the block, bro. Ain't nobody going with a mid-range. You know what I'm saying? When cats in the hood got something more. And then the other thing more was I became a great joker to defend myself. So I got sweet with it. So you know how it is when you younger, especially, and you going there, I'm getting them. So they got to keep coming back with that same thing on me. You feel me? But even though I was killing them because I had to protect myself, at the same time, it stick with you. Because, bro, you got to be, like, jokes are jokes, but some jokes, when you come up in the hood, people going for the real blows. You know what I'm saying? So I would go, and it was rough, Maul, because it was like my man joking me, and I know that he telling the truth, but he can't be telling the truth because my mom wouldn't have. So it's rough, Maul, because you get to a point where parents be like, no, ain't no Santa Claus. But imagine you got a parent who like Santa Claus is real. You feel me? And it's just like, okay, but everything about Christmas, like, it can't be. So I don't know, whatever age, you said Trey was what, 7, 8? When he start, like, he's starting to think it through a little bit. So every year you gonna keep saying that Santa Claus, and he gonna kind of be like, I ain't seen my man come down the chimney, bro. The cookie is gone, but your breath smell like chocolate chips. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I saw you bring, and she said it. Like, he's like, yo, you bringing in all this stuff. Is Santa Claus bringing it or you bringing it? You feel me? So as I got older, I start whatever. And listen to me, y'all. We are not talking about my life. What I'm trying to tell you, though, is the way I got to the point C of listening to, what was the word you said? You want to get confirmation instead of correction? Bro, that's where I started. Like, it's so weird. I'm like, if it meant that much to you, why didn't you just go say something to your mother about it? So there is this natural part of us. Now, I'm not saying everybody, but for those of us who are emotional, there is this part, Maul, where you don't want, I keep hearing it say, you can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth. And so there was a part, Maul, that was like, okay, if I go ask my mom and she tell me the truth, what does this mean for me? You feel me? Like, what would this mean if it's the truth? What would this mean for my life? Like, this ain't just you go figure it out and then you just like, you cool with it. It's just like, yo, if this the truth, what onion are we about to open now? You feel me? And so I did that, listen to other people, getting information from other people instead of getting it from the source. My mom probably want to say something, but can't say nothing now. You know what I'm saying? Because Santa Claus is real, so you didn't went that road. So it was just a mess. So I left the crib. The first time I told you I left the crib, I was like 13. And I would run away, here and there. I ran away a lot, but here and there. And then again, like I said, 16, I left for good. How long were you going when you left at 13? Weekend first. You young. You a weekend and you scared at 13. But the more I did it, the more comfortable I was with, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can be going for a week and I'll be all right, So 16, I kind of, mustered up the strength to kind of be like, all right, I'm leaving. I'm not coming back, But I will say this, that's when I first start going to other people for information instead of going to the source. All right. And it was only in me losing that I realized this ain't the best way to do it, because you've been doing it this way. Like, you've run from the truth and you've gone to people who are going to make you feel comfortable about the situation instead of like really dealing with going head up. So I picked up a habit of, not wanting to, to know the truth. So number one, I would say to those of you who are emotional, right? Meaning that you make a lot of decisions based on how you feel and not based on facts. So I made a lot of decisions. And so when I look back and when I finally did talk to my mother, Ma, I'm late 30s. I'm saying late 30s. I did talk to my mother. I was like, yo, man, that makes sense what you saying. You feel me? Like, yo, that makes sense why you did what you did. Like, I don't even know why I saw it in the negative. I should have saw all of that in the positive. Like, it's so much positive in that, in her explanation. It's so much, especially you 17 years old. Like, I don't know why, but I always thought my mother was grown. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if anybody else felt like that, but
Your parents been the same age since you was born.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm seeing my mom, like you had to be in your 30s your whole life, right? I didn't really think you were 17 years old. And I'm thinking, man, my mom was 17 years old. Man, Jada 23. And I don't know if she ready to, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if she ready to have no kid right now. You know, so again, just emotional, y'all, making these emotional decisions. And when you're emotional, I don't know that emotion wants facts. Emotional like feelings. Right? So then you get caught up in your feelings. You start making decisions based on feelings and not facts. All right, now watch this, guys. All right, two things. I'm gonna let y'all go. So Maul has taught me when we started running with Maul taught me buying stuff and all that. That's not what I get from Maul. Maul plays offense and defense. When you're an emotional creature, you always on the defense. You always on the defense. Like that's how you live. You live on the defense. So you are always in this protective mode. You say something to me. So when you say something to somebody and they go, what they're doing is because they have so many emotions, they got to protect those emotions, right? So I was always living in the defense, and just meaning that, I protected myself, so I never opened myself to get anything. I was always making sure nothing came in. Like, so you know what I'm saying? So now you talk about, well, why does a person not want to go and get correct? Well, I want to get correct because I'm emotional. I'm in my feelings and I want to make sure you're not hurting me. I want to make sure. I was talking to somebody the other day and they were just talking about the whole COVID situation. And I was like, yo, bro, that's deep. They was like, yo, I got information. I was like, yo, that's deep. But I was like, you know what? I got to call them and tell them, I love what you're doing. But you're still in protecting mode. You're not in the mode where millions of dollars gonna come to you. You're not in the mode where success is gonna happen for you. You're in a great place. You are not going to get sick, but you are not gonna necessarily get blessed to the extent that you're not gonna get sick. And so a lot of you're not getting it, but that's what you own. Like that's why you can't receive correction because you actually created a world where you're not trying to gain. You're just trying not to get hurt. That's different. You feel me? That's different. So for a lot of my life, you come holler at me or you come say something to me. I'm not, you can't tell me, can't nobody tell you nothing. I'm like, no, it's not really that they can't tell me nothing because then C got on and was like, oh, it's not that you can't tell E nothing. You can. But you can't tell E nothing if he don't believe that you got his best interest at heart. You definitely can't tell him nothing. So for me, I'm not coachable. It's more, I'm not coachable because my first line of defense is to protect myself. So you can't correct me because I'm not necessarily like against being corrected. I just don't want to be hurt. So my whole life now is about not getting hurt. It's not about getting blessed. It's not. So even more when you.
Again, though, you got to make I don't want to cut you off, but you got to make the connection between correction and being hurt. Because I don't take those two to be equivalent. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't look at correction as, oh, you just hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the part I don't understand. Again, I grew up with a father who was like, oh, you did something wrong, I'm gonna whoop your butt. Guess what? You cried because it hurt, but you understood why, and you was like, bet, let's move. So I've always kind of grown throughout my life of going, okay, if me and E get into it and E say some things I need to hear, okay, I'm not necessarily hurt about it or trying to shield myself from that. I look at it as, all right, cool, I got an opportunity to grow. Me and E, cool, let's move. So I'm saying there's some type of relationship that you developed with correction over the course of your life to make you think that correction or feedback is meant to hurt. I don't look at feedback as meant to hurt.
Information that you need to hear. At what point can a person, that's the key point right there, when you recognized that it was information that you need to hear. But when you're in your feelings, a lot of times you're not even trying to hear that it's some information that you need to hear.
Yeah, but I guess I was just trying to figure out the root of that because, again.
No, I told you what the root of it was. The root of it was the person that was correcting me, I didn't trust.
Right.
Or did you not, or did you not trust yourself with the information?
No. I was young.
So just, think about it. See, and of course, we've heard the story. Like, see, if he broke trust with his mom, who's the person that's supposed to be the only real person that you could trust on planet Earth, and you don't have that trust, bro. It ain't nobody else on planet Earth could tell me nothing that I'm gonna just rock with. You see what I'm saying? like that trust was broken from such a young age. Now you got to really, really work to develop any kind of coachable skill now.
Yeah,
it's
because
like, I can't hear nothing.
Yeah, because here's the deal. Whether you want to admit it or not, we don't separate teaching from trust. We don't separate it. Now you might think that you don't, but there are teachers or people see you would never listen to because you don't trust them. As a matter of fact, you said, yo, I never went to church with y'all because I ain't trust those people. You feel me? Like you was like, yo, I was only there because of E. If it wasn't for E, I wouldn't have been there.
And Carl. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But here's the deal, Carl. They were actually teaching, but C was like, yo, I'm good on that. Why? Because he was like, yo, I don't trust that they have E's best interest. I don't trust they got. So there's no teacher that we sit under that we don't trust, Maul. But what happens is,
but I trusted you.
Absolutely, and which is
but
why
I also have the discernment to know who to trust and who not to trust based on where you're at and what you're doing.
So
like
imagine
I was listening to Toby the other day. He was on the interview and he was like, yo, I ain't really trust a lot of people, but I trusted E and C because they were where I wanted to be. They were doing what I wanted to do. And so why reject the information from people who clearly are where you want to be or are ahead of you?
Well, but that's good. But I'm saying there are people out there, see, unfortunately, who didn't start off with the trust that you have. They didn't start off like that.
Right, that's what I'm trying to get to. Exactly.
Yeah, they didn't start off like that. So you have kids that I see a lot of times who may have come from adoption, right? Foster homes, and some stuff happened to them in the foster home mall. So we have to understand that there's a connection between the teacher and the student. The student that trusts the teacher embraces the correction. The student that doesn't trust the teacher don't take correction from the student. You feel me? So what do you hear in schools all the time? You ain't my daddy. You feel me? You ain't even got a daddy. You talk about I ain't your daddy. You ain't my mama. You don't even know who your mama is, right? So what I had to realize, see, is, and again, my mother's not to blame. I made the decision that I made. My mother's not to blame, right? I'm to blame. So what I had to realize was I had to make an adjustment, and that adjustment was, A.E., you have to trust your mother. So Ma, I actually went back. I don't know if you guys can still hear me pretty good. I actually went back, Ma, and reestablished the trust, because I should have never lost the trust with her in the first place. But I lost the trust in her, Ma, because I was listening to everybody else but my mother. So my mother didn't even have a chance to gain trust in me because I wasn't talking to her about the situation. You feel me? So I'm taking full ownership now, Ma. That's the shift now. That's the shift. You stop blaming and you stop pointing the finger and you take responsibility. So the reality is, I shouldn't have been talking to my aunt about my situation. I shouldn't have been talking to my counselor at the school. I shouldn't have been talking to my next door neighbor. They don't even got information. They don't even know what happened. They weren't even there, bro. They had the slightest idea. So I'm just saying, I didn't trust. So now the people who were put in my life to correct me, I'm not trying to be corrected by them because I don't trust you or believe in you in the first place.
So can I be honest? Now I'm more discouraged now trying to deal with the solution than I was before we started this podcast. I'm going to be real with y'all. So one of the things that I feel like E has pushed him to number one in the world is his ability to now take ownership of everything, even things you don't want to take ownership of. Like, it's crazy. Like E, I'm gonna be real with you. You have to tell us, are you doing that because it's the thing to do, or you really believe that? Because E will call on some stuff where somebody was totally wrong, and I'll be like, yo, that's crazy. E be like, no, that's on me, see? And I'm like, that's on you. What did you? He'll find a way to manipulate it so that it was in his control. And so, E, you could talk about that, because I'm going to be real. I'm not taking no ownership from this sorry pool company. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not. I did everything I was supposed to do, and that ain't my mind playing tricks on me.
No. And what I'm saying is, there are instances, but I was telling them, my chair and another member of my committee, we almost got into it because, they were on that political side of, it's not the kid's fault in the neighborhood. It's not the kid's fault whose father's in jail. It's like this society created that. And I was like, yo, y'all 100% correct. But the challenge, like, bro, I even remember being on talk shows where I was on a talk show talking the way I'm talking now 15, 20 years ago, and they was blasting me. Like, you talking about some deep people. Hakeem Matabuti was the only one that pulled me to the side and was like, yo, I feel you, young bro, but you got to understand. So, Maul, I've been on this, and it's a lot of, scholars who like, don't you say that. They got to take ownership. And I'm like, yo, I'm not suggesting that slavery didn't have a make. I'm not suggesting like the hood I grew up. Let me tell you something, bro. This is why I'm like, y'all talk all that trash. Like, I'm from Chicago, South Side. I'm from Detroit, West Side. Like, I'm not one of those dudes that grew up in the suburbs and talk like I was. My mama was 17. Like, I'm not playing games. My grandma had 14 kids in the, on 42nd Mall before it was, on the other side of 42nd, right? I'm not playing these games. I've been there, done that. But what I realize is when you do that and it's the truth and you have every right to do it, you just lose a little control when you give it to a system. That's all I'm saying, is that you give them the control. And so for me, see, when I'm talking to somebody and they go, well, I ain't know whatever, I messed up. I'm like, yo, I hired you flat out. Oh, and you say, well, no, you didn't. So-and-so brought him in. I let so-and-so bring him in. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, even if so-and-so hired him, I gave so-and-so the okay to do it. So if it's a problem, it is something, I'm a part of it. And I don't care if that's only 20%. If I give it to you now, my wife, man, let me tell y'all the scariest thing that happened. And this ain't even on, I apologize to CJ. There were some things that CJ did or helped me do, that, maybe Didi wasn't necessarily like, that's how I would have wanted to be done. But because I kept passing the buck, I remember Didi came to me once and was kind of like, okay, well, I don't like this arrangement, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, we doing this. And it was like, yo, she's right. Like, it's business. Like, it ain't, and here's the funny thing, and I've said this a million times. People like yourself, you're not even tripping. It's stuff that the people who made up in their mind that they think you tripping about, that you tripping about. I ain't never went to C and been like, yo, C, I need to take care of my family in this way. And C was like, nah, E, that ain't right, bruh. We've been doing this together and that together. That ain't fair. C like, yo, whatever you need to do to take care of your family and put your family in the best situation, bruh, I'm here to bless you and take you to the next level. So whatever that looks like, go for it. So, but I'm telling you, it's in my mind. So I literally with Didi was like, yo, E, you got to do X, Y, and Z. Why? Because my wife wasn't happy. And she wasn't happy with the way stuff was going on. She was like, yo, if something happens to you, the way her pilot works is she like, I don't need to be dealing with no middleman. I need to be able to go straight to. And so I'm like, okay, bet, let's go. But I'm trying to tell y'all, when you don't take ownership, somebody else gets to decide where you live, how you live, what school your kids go to. Like, you putting your family, who you say you love and protect and honor and serve, like, we talking about your family. You literally give people the power to, and I tell my kids all the time, Jalen, you could be mad at me, JD, you could be mad at me, but I put y'all in a position where you guys can control your own destiny. What time you get up, what time you go to bed. Ma, I'm calling you today. I didn't get a chance to call you yesterday. But we've waited. The area that we used to live in Huntsville is booming again. People trying to buy my lot. That's how I knew it was booming again. And bro, we about to build a home, and we're gonna find a way to rent it out or do whatever we do. But it's like, okay, we're gonna have a home. I told Didi, I said, man, we got 3 homes now. Michigan, Alabama. We building that. We got one in California. She said we got 4. We got a house in Chicago. You feel me? She said you got 4. You feel me? But I'm just saying that to say, Ma, the same neighborhood I grew up in, I hear dudes at my age just say, man, I finally got a good paying job. You feel me, Ma? And when we were young, it was the man, y'all kind of young, y'all know this term, but when I was growing up, it was the man did this and the man did that and the man did this. And I'm like, you might
still doing it.
Right.
He's still doing it.
Whatever it was you were saying.
Man still exists.
He still exists, whoever my man is. And so for me, Ma, it's like, yo, I'm 50. And you just now getting a gig you just not taking your kids to Disney World. You just now taking trips. You just not doing it. And here's the crazy part, Ma. Not only are you just doing it, you're doing it occasionally. I want this to be my lifestyle. You feel me? Like, so I just say that to say, see, yes, you're right. Other people are to blame. But when we give them the power, we actually give them the control of our life at the exact same time. And we only get to do this thing once. I would hate that the whole quality of my life was based on somehow some other dude wanted me to live.
Yeah, true. So now back to the reason I said I was frustrated, because now it don't seem like a quick fix, E. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was looking for you to get a magic, fairy dust and just boom, you over it. But if you have a negative relationship with feedback, correction, those type of things, and it's systemic, do you remember at what age you started to go, okay, I'm down to, start receiving something? Was it Pastor Willis? Like, what happened where you were like, oh, okay, like, I'm okay taking a little information and maybe trying to apply it?
Homelessness. I was losing. And I'd like y'all to share y'all moment, but for me it was.
I'm still not taking no feedback, so I let them, you know what I'm saying?
I just mean, was there like an incident that happened in your life where you was like, shoot, I messed up. I got to make an adjustment. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But again, though, I know I've said this on the podcast before, but I always had a healthy relationship with correction. As weird as it was, and I didn't understand. I told you, I didn't understand my dad at the time. But like, when we got a whooping, right? Like, my dad would be like, yo, go upstairs and wait there. And we would wait for like sometimes an hour, sometimes 2 hours, just sit in your room. And every time he would come up, before he would, listen, I'm telling y'all, this is how we got our whoopings. And my dad whooped us. We got with a belt on your butt, like it's going down. My dad wasn't never that like, okay, you know how some people get whoopings and it's like, oh, you done did that, and they just grab whatever's close and they just beating their kids, right? We didn't get whooped like that. Our whoopings were very calculated, right? So my dad, and I don't even know if my dad was, and I had to ask him if he was doing this as a tactic. 1 second, son, go. I'll be there in a minute. I don't even know if he was doing this as a tactic, but what he would do is send us to our room. You go up to your room for about an hour, 2 hours. Now, that was psychological torture a little bit, because you're like, man, every time I used to be like, yo, maybe my dad cooled off by now. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he wouldn't come up there, and because it's been so long now, you done kind of stop crying. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. You like, all right, cool. You sitting up there. And my dad would come up there as calm as I am right now and be like, hey, what's up? You'd be like, nothing. He's like, you know why you getting ready to get a whooping? I'd be like, yep. He'd be like, why? You told us to stop running and fighting, and we broke the window. Yep. Turnover. Boom. And you got however old you were, that's how many licks you got. And then when it was over, it was over. Like, my dad would literally be like, yo, what y'all want for dinner? Y'all trying to go get ice cream? Like, that was it. He would correct the behavior. And so what I started to learn is that, correction doesn't mean that I don't love you. Correction doesn't mean that you're a bad person. Correction doesn't mean that I'm mad at you because you're not perfect. It just means I'm going to correct this specific behavior. And guess what you didn't do again? You didn't make that. Now, I'm not saying we didn't get whooped. I don't think I ever got whooped for the same thing twice. You feel me? Like, I learned like, okay, that fire is hot. Stay away from there. So I started applying those principles to my life. And so when I tell you I don't have a negative relationship with correction, I think that's why. And so when me and E would get into it and E would withdraw, I was like, yo, this don't make no sense. Like, we're supposed to have like a little moment, correct, and then move forward. Like, I still love you. This is not like, and I could never understand like E would go like 2 days and be like distant. I ain't gonna say he wouldn't talk to me, but it'd be like cold. And I'm like, are you still on like what we talked about 2 days ago?
Yeah, and I was in my feelings.
But I'm saying though, so as we're talking about it systemically, again, I've never looked at if Maul called me like, yo, see, you shouldn't have did that. I told you that. Like, I never looked at that as like, oh my God, Maul hates me. I'm a terrible person. This like, I was like, oh, okay, you're correcting that particular behavior. That's not an assassination on my character overall.
So you just fixed it, and that's the quick fix. And here's the first time, I'm being real, see, here's the first time I wasn't in my feelings. And when I heard you say that story, you know what? I got to, be 100%. This is crazy. My father who raised me did the exact same thing your father did. My mother was the one who was emotionally. My mother is the one that go off, cussing you out. My father never did that. But you know why I didn't receive it the way you received it? Because I didn't trust him. I didn't trust my man. Why, Ma? I was like, you ain't my father. Like, I always felt something in my spirit that was like, you're not my father. Because I would hear that, what's his name? Like the kids with Santa Claus. Like something in my spirit always told me, Carl, he ain't my father. I can't put my finger on it, and I don't really know what's going on, and ain't nobody telling me what's going on, but I just don't feel, and I've been a feeler my whole life. Y'all know me. I walk in the room, and y'all know I feel certain things. I always felt like, yo, this ain't my father. Ain't nobody telling me the truth about it, but I just don't feel that connection like that. You feel me? So my mother was the one that be grabbing stuff and acting all, you know what I'm saying? Irate.
Yeah, but do y'all understand how important that was though? Like to not do that, because again, my dad, and I did ask him later, he was saying, I never wanted to whoop y'all when I was mad. Because then you're thinking, oh, you're not really correcting the behavior, you're just pissed. And my dad was like, no, this don't have nothing to do with pissed. I'm in a great mood. And it was funny because I had to get Trey like that the other day, and I was like, I didn't really did I tell you I whooped Trey the other day? Oh, I ain't tell y'all that story about when I whooped him at Best Buy. So again,
it must have been traumatic for you.
You know what's crazy? No.
I'll be careful. I got to get this. I think I'm only a year and a half or something removed from the police. I'm a mandated reporter. So do I need to cover my ears up?
Oh, I ain't tell y'all this Trey guy. Oh, now mind you, Trey don't never get fly with me. I ain't had to whoop. I told Candace, I don't think I whooped the boy in 2 years. Like, I'm just being real. He's just a good kid. Like, he got out of his body the other day. I'm talking about out his body. This dude, okay. No, so we walking out the store, right? So, kids be walking on the backs of their shoes and playing around, all kind of stuff. So we walking out of Best Buy. He's in the parking lot. And some kind of way his shoe comes off, right? So usually I got their hand, but it wasn't super busy in the parking lot. So, I was letting him walk like beside me, whatever. He stopped. And I look back a couple steps later, he's sitting on the ground, fiddling with his shoe, trying to put his shoe on in the middle of the parking lot, like parking area. And I said, son, what are you doing? Have you ever seen anybody sit in the parking lot? And this joker says to me, have you ever seen somebody walking without shoes in the parking lot? Oh, I was like, I said, God, thank you. Because I've been looking for a reason to let you know that it still ain't sweet. Yeah. And you know what? It was crazy
because like a CJ line though.
It did. It did.
Where he learned that from.
No, I never got fly with my pops at the mouth. Never. Maybe you try your mom just a tad. You know what I'm saying? You're a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But I never got fly with my pops at the mouth. I got whooped, we got our fair share of whoopings. It wasn't never for like trying them. And so I said, what? And he looked at me like, shoot, I knew I was wrong. And I got him in the car and I closed the door and I wasn't even mad. Like by this time I had processed what was going on. And I was like, you know what? No, you gotta get a correction for that. And I wasn't mad at him, nothing. I was just like, I opened back up the car door and was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? I got to get you. And I got him, but I promise you, it was the same situation. I wasn't mad. I wasn't anything. Like, I'm going to correct this particular behavior so we don't have that again. And as people, grown people now, you're obviously not getting whooped, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? It's not physical. But when somebody says to you, yo, I don't like this, or you shouldn't have did that, or you were out of line for that, or this ain't right, and you take it as an assault, like, how do you begin to fix that mentality?
No, you just said it.
I got it, E. So the answer is the answer, see. Like, it ain't no shortcut. You got to take responsibility. Now, here's the thing. The dope thing about life, y'all, is that it's not isolated. See, so this is the one part. Like, the correction thing is not isolated from my self-esteem. Correction, not, from trust issues that I have. It's not isolated. So, to be honest, see, I had a similar experience in terms of being raised, middle class. My family, my parents are very educated. They ain't just going wild. My mom would go wild once in a while, but my dad was very calculated. My dad never beat me personally. He got my brother a couple times. But none of that had anything to do with my self-esteem issues. You see what I'm saying? So as I grow up with the issues that I have, you 100% right. Dude, you got to get to the point where you losing, it ain't working, you take responsibility. That's the point blank answer. But I'm saying what people got to realize, and back to self-assessment, you got to assess and realize, oh, on top of correction, the underlying issue for me is I got self-esteem challenges. You know, I got issues with confidence. So before I could even think about addressing, you know, the stuff that you talking about, oh crap, like what is going on with me? Like I can't isolate them, see? So I think for people, they need to understand some of the underlying things first, because your immediate reaction, like he said, is I'm gonna just like, oh, you coming at me? Like, bruh, what? Like that's all I know. Now I got to figure out, why am I defensive? What's the layer under that I haven't discovered? And I think that's the part that you got to unlock first, see, because once you unlock that, once I unlock that, bruh, I don't have to work for my value in this squad. Like y'all value me for me. Once I unlock that, it's a different experience for me now when I got to relate to everybody. But before that, oh crap, I hope C don't call. I messed up I ain't do, oh crap, he calling, what I do. Like that's what I'm experiencing even before the correction. So I'm saying you can't isolate them like that. People got to understand where they are, and then they got to get to that part.
Yeah, I know what's crazy.
Some people like, no, I'm saying some people like see, like you said, Carl, you're in a good space. So you're mature. So when you get disciplined, you don't see it like that. Whereas, like I said, I've been so emotional, see, that up until you just said that just now, I was like, yo, my old dude that I was reared with, he was never emotional. He never whipped us. He did the same thing. He never whipped you when you got in trouble. But why did I take it the way I took it, Carl? Because I didn't trust him. Yep. Even though he was doing it the right way, I didn't personally trust him. I was like, yo, you ain't my father. You don't have the right to put your hands on me. What does that mean? You living in a house with somebody raising you, going to work every day, paying. What does that even mean? That don't even make sense what you're saying. He's taking the role of your father. He gave you his last name. What does that mean? But I'm telling you, I remember, Carl, the issue. So he'd go, I messed up, Carl. I changed my report card. I lied. He'd be like, all right, you lied. Why
Where'd you change your report card?
Yeah, I changed my report card.
How you do that?
You never did that before?
Nah. I was like a very basic student. I was getting B's and occasionally.
Well, that's where I messed
so
up. See,
I never had no.
So a 1 in Catholic school, a 1 might have been more bad, and a 4 was, like an A. So I take the 1 and fold her out, as if my mom couldn't tell I had folded out. Right?
He made the rest of the 4 in crayon.
All of it was. But here's the crazy part. Here's why I would get in trouble. He would always be like, yo, just do me a favor. Just tell me the truth. Did you change it? Ma, I'd be like, bruh, does that look like it got changed? As if they couldn't go to the school and find out. But here's what I would do, Ma. No responsibility for the changing of the grade. And I'm talking to grown people now. Carl said it. Everything will change if you just take responsibility for why you did what you did. So C not only took responsibility for the whipping, he also took responsibility for, I did this.
Yeah. Let me tell you, E, some of the best correction I ever got in my life. And don't get me wrong, I ain't got my fair share of whoopings too. But some of the best correction I've ever gotten in my life did not come from a person. It came from a situation. And I think a lot of people miss that. People getting corrected every day. The situation is correcting you. So I'll give you an example. Here I am, police officer E. I'm working in an area where I know every day we get in roll call, we get the crime stats, right? You talking about the Carfax, we get the crime stats. The crime stats is telling us such and such area has a 65% theft rate for renovations or construction and things like that. So I go in already knowing the stats. I'm a police officer. I got to know these crime stats. Here I go buy me a property in that area where it says 65% of properties get broke into. And what do, Mr. Officer? Not only do I buy this property in this area, I go and buy extra material, Carl. And I say, I'm going to buy the material. I'm tired of going to Home Depot every single day. So I'm going to buy all the material and I'm going to just put the material inside the building all at one time so I ain't got to go back and forth to Home Depot, see? The crime stats, though, says 65%, Officer King. But I ignored the crime stats. Somebody broke in the building, man. This is my second property I talked about, man, in the book. Somebody broke in the property, bro, and stole everything. I'm talking about everything. Now, here it is. It wasn't a person that could correct me because I'm in business. I own my own business. I own the building. The situation, though, told me, it corrected me well. It didn't do like Pops did. It didn't wait an hour. It didn't wait 2 hours. The situation, though, was immediate, and it corrected me immediately, saying, all you had to do was the issue was the crime stats, 65%, right? Theft. The solution, all you had to do was go get a $200 burglar alarm system on the building. Correction number 2, all you had to do was just board up the building, secure the building a little bit better so nobody would break in. Correction number 3, or solution number 3 rather, was, dude, just don't put all the material in the building at one time. Literally, that situation, that correction cost me thousands and thousands of dollars. And if I didn't have a buddy of mine, Vince, to be able to give me the money, because another situation, I didn't even have the right insurance, to even cover the break-in. With knowing on the crime stats that 65% of break-ins take place in this area, I didn't even have the insurance that covered actual theft. And so here it is, bro, not listening to the crime stats. I just went ahead, man, and almost lost it. That situation could have taken me out to the point where I never would have been back in real estate again. So some people listening to us right now, you might be looking for a person to correct you, but it might have been situations that's been correcting you for over the years. And it's been costing you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but you just sitting back ignoring it because you think that your correction might come in the form of your mother or your father or a friend, when really you got correction happening every single day in your financial life, but you're ignoring the crime stats in my case. You're ignoring the Carfax in E case.
Mine's, I got my butt whipped, Wall. So here's the challenge. I literally created the situation that I dogged my parents out about. You feel me? I created it, Maul. And that's why when Carl talks about responsibility, listen, y'all, number one, take responsibility. I realized, Maul, a lot of those whippings that you got, that you judged and was like, why you do this, why you do that, Maul? I was the one that messed up in school. I was the one that was lying in school. I was the one acting a fool. I never took responsibility for that. I never was like, 90% of the whippings you got, you deserve. I always made an excuse for, or I always put the focus, Carl, on why you do that. You ain't my fault. Why you whip me? Why you put me on punishment? Why you taking stuff from me? I never went. Why you clowning in school? Why you acting a fool? Why you doing stuff your parents told you not to do? Why you doing that? So to your point, Carl, I had to take responsibility for, you got kicked out for you. You didn't get kicked out because your parents hated your gut and they wanted you on the street. And the other thing, guys, I know this is going to be hard for y'all, but this all would have been resolved with me going to my mother in the first place. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do for me. You do it the easy way up front, you're going to have to deal with it the hard way the rest of your life. You deal with the hard way up front, it's going to be the easy. And I hope y'all hear me. You're talking about years of getting into it with my mom when I should have just went to my mom and sat down and have a conversation. You said, well, you did call her. I called her, y'all, way after I had already drew a conclusion. I called my mom like when I had gotten to the point at 16 where I had already said, you this, you that, you this, you that. I really only called her, Ma, to confirm, as CJ said. I really finally just was like, yo, confirm you a liar. Confirm that you've been manipulative all these years. Just confirm it. So I never really called her, Ma, to be like, because you know why? Because once she told me, that's when I hung up and was like, I'm ghost. Pretty much at that point, I'm like, I'm ghost. Like I had clocked out at that point. Like once you told me, whatever. I never went to my mom afterwards and was like, yo, let's sit down and talk about that conversation. Now I know this sounds crazy, but like, Ma, I never went to my mom and was like, let's debrief. You feel me? Let's debrief about this. I had drew my own conclusions and I lived those conclusions for 30 something years. And now I'm embarrassed because looking back at it, Ma, everything she did, right or wrong. I'm not God. I don't know what's right and what's wrong, to be honest with you. But everything she did was to put me in the position I'm in now. Everything she did.
You know what's crazy? I try to explain to people, 1 second, Carl. I try to explain to people just off of E's point right there, Carl. I try to just tell people like, that's why I feel like I'm a pilot. Like I'm not, I don't like confrontation. There's a myth or something that I'm just like, you got to be sick to just love like confrontation, like, to just like, like I'm that's not me. I'm not like, a wild bear in the woods just looking for somebody to fight. What you just said, E, how you dealt with that for years and it could have been taken care of on the front end and got over with. I've always been a rip the Band-Aid off kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Avery had a Band-Aid the other day. It took about 30 minutes to take the Band-Aid off. And I'm like, boo, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like that's how some adults are, and you got these problems in these situations, and you sitting there tugging on the Band-Aid for 30 years. You tugging on the Band-Aid for 10 years. And I'm a pilot because, okay, let's say Carl, no. Let's say Carl acting a little funny. I'm like, Carl being a little cold, like, what's going on? He ain't really, like, in my head, it's worse to sit there for 3 weeks and wonder what's going on in Carl's head. Is he mad at me? You ever had somebody acting like that and you start thinking in your head like, did I do something wrong? Like, I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, did I say? You go back through your text, you like, hold up, did I do something? So I'm always the type that's gonna call Carl day 2, maybe day 1, and be like, yo, you good? What's up? Hey, everything smooth? Like, hey,
you still got to work it out of me, y'all. I ain't going to give it out at first.
I do, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not doing that because I'm tough and because I want to have this. Like, and Candace always said, I just always been like that, bro. Like, I just always been like that. Like, I attack the problem, not because I'm so tough, because I just want it over with. Because I understand that the worst place to be is purgatory. You know what I'm saying? It's like, send me to heaven or hell. Don't have me sitting in the middle. That's where the anxiety lives. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, I would have been good just being like, this is over with, you lost. The worst place in the world is to, like I said, we talked about it before. When we got our COVID test. The worst thing is sitting there for that day where you waiting on you like, it's like, cool, if I got it, let me fight this joint. If I don't got it, just tell me. But I'm sitting there waiting on the results and you shaking in your boots. I don't like that middle feeling. I don't like it. I would rather just know so I could do something about it and move on.
Because the middle feeling is worse than
worse than anything.
Worse than either side, bro.
But that's what people do when you don't address the problem. You sit there and guess what? The monster just grows. It's like it started off this big. Now your brain done let the thing expand to the point where it's like a 6'8", 300-pound beast. And it's like, you could have killed it when it was a little puppy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you done let it grow into a monster.
And E, I want to kind of build on what you started and see you just set it up perfectly because E, I didn't make the mistakes. Like, I didn't make no blatant mistakes like, oh, crap, that was my fault. But see, I still allowed the regular unchecked to take way too long. So let me go again. You guys know TGIM videos, all that. I got into the whole video thing for this reason. I ain't grew up with a camera. Like, this wasn't my thing, right? So I got into it. And see, this is what I was saying about the not isolating. I got into it because of the value, the perceived value that video brought, right? Man, this is the thing that I have. E and C are killing the game. I can bring this and they will love me with this. Now, Maul, I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's probably about 2 years in, C and E were like, all right, bro, what's next? Like, what you gonna do next? Like, cool. This was cute. This was good. Like, it helped us build. But they were reinforcing from then. Like, what's next? This was great, Carl. And I'm like, what you mean? Y'all loving me right here doing this? What do I need to do something next for? Like, we gonna ride this to the sunset. E, I ain't do nothing wrong. To be honest, I'm doing everything right. And I'll talk about this more in the book, E, but like the process of TGIM, turn the camera on. Every TGIM was like 8 hours of my life. Like, I've been literally like chronically, like literally 8 hours. So that's like a third of a day.
In 30 minutes. me and E was at Chipotle.
Hey, speak on it, Carl. Let these jokers know, dog. It took 8 hours. Keep on
calling Carl like, hey, Carl, hurry up.
While E getting up there giving his 25 minute speech, and while CJ back there directing, talking about cut, go. All right,
hey, you know what was hilarious though, Ma? Hey, we would shoot it, and then E wanted it up. I remember when E called Carl, and that was the first time I almost heard Carl cuss E out. He called him and said, hey, you putting the videos up late. And Carl said, yo, I'm putting them up on Monday. What you talking about? And he said, yo, we got fans in Australia now. Monday is Sunday. Carl was like, yo, I'll bust you in your mouth.
All you thought he had to do was just push that little upload button and get it going.
I knew what he had to do. Like, I'm a little different than CJ. You got to understand, CJ a pilot. He closed the cockpit. It's just him. I spend time with Carl. So I knew it was taking a long time, but I was kind of in my mind. I didn't realize at that time being an extrovert with the speed, I was like, yo, Carl, I just know it don't have to be.
Let me tell you something. Carl made me hate the word. If I hear the word rendering right now, I'll be about to die. I call Carl, where the video at? He'd be like, it's rendering. I still don't know what that means to this day, but I hate it.
But you know it takes
time. So E, I want to speak to this group though. No, I want to speak to this group for real because not everybody's in that negative situation. There's a lot of people, facts, but there's some of you that, like me, were in this spot where you're holding on to this thing for way too long. And Ma, I never saw anything else. I never knew that there was something else. So obviously there comes a time when I'm burnt out. And I'm like, yo, I can't even do media no more. We got Ken, we got Will, a couple people came on. And it wasn't a situation where I mentored them. It was like, bruh, here, I'm done. Like, don't call me about no media. Don't say nothing to me about it. Just get the video up on Sunday for Australia friends. That's it.
Exactly.
Glenn, Naomi.
Glenn and Naomi.
They show the video not rendering.
And it's not rendering on Sunday. Render it on Saturday.
Yeah.
But now, see, we fast forward, and bruh, the exact same tool that I was using, I got to pay taxes for now with Solo Creator Pro. The exact same tool. Now, E and C Mall didn't have the answer to tell me like, yo, just do this. They didn't have the answer, but it didn't have to take me 10, 12 years to get to this. You see what I'm saying? So the value that I had messed me up so much that I was stuck not taking any more responsibility than I had to. I only took just enough responsibility for this video. It's going to get done. I ain't had to think about payroll. I ain't had to think about us making no money. I just had to think of the video and get that done. And that was like the end of my, you know what I'm saying, my scope of things. And now I'm realizing like, wow, dude, like if you had done this like they were suggesting 10 years ago, where could we be? So Maul, you talk about learning through life, bro, it hurts. Like it burns. Let me be, E was transparent last time. I still don't call Maul and C and E like I should. I'm talking to everybody. I should be calling y'all every single day, and I don't because I'm like, yo, I feel like I got so much ground to make up, like so much stuff that I've dropped. It's like, bro, I don't even want to talk right now. I just want to get it done so that in the next 6 months, I can look back and say, man, I covered 10 years in 6 months. That's where I'm trying to be right now. But just to be real for everybody else out there that's in this spot, like, don't take that long.
Tell E to stop calling me then, if that's the criteria. Tell E to quit calling me. You know what I'm saying? E shouldn't be calling my phone either.
I'm a pilot now, Maul. I don't care nothing about that foolishness.
I've been recognizing your pilot though. I've been seeing you, bro.
No, I'm a pilot now. I don't got time for CJ's love.
You know,
shenanigans.
Hey, let me give y'all the visual. Let me give you the visual representation of me and E. This E as my co-pilot. You know when they got them big motorcycles and then the little ones in the little bucket on the side? E is like in the little bucket on the side of me, and every once in a while I let him steer for a minute.
E, I was gonna say you at least flying a crop duster. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put you on the little.
Hey, he got the little Snoopy plane, you know what I'm saying? With his scarf just flailing in the wind.
Hey, but Maul, my air traffic control, I'm getting a chance to at least to set y'all up in a way that I never could before. Yeah.
I'm loving it though. I'm loving it.
Organifi. Shout out to Organifi, man. The superfood green juice powder, keeping this whole podcast powered up. Been a great partner for a long time, man. ORGANIFI.com, promo code success. All right, go and get you some Organifi. Full admission, I need to get back on it. I didn't have my green juice for a couple weeks, and I finally got my shipment. So I'm back on it, man. Feeling good, feeling great. Working out every day.
Hey, I just got back with the protein, the chocolate protein joint.
Okay.
I had stopped with that for a while. Bruh, it tastes phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'll let y'all see it as they keep coming.
Come on, Carl.
I'll let y'all.
Come on, dog.
I'll let y'all see it. We're putting a little something in there. Just a little something.
Watch out now, dog.
The protein coming.
I'll let y'all have it.
Yeah.
He said I'm 50.
I'll let y'all have it.
He just Pelotoned out.
Hey, Ma, I'm just working.
Seat.
I'm working out enough, Ma, not to get the coronavirus.
Oh, no doubt. Mar, let us know what's going on with Make Real Estate Real, big dog.
Oh, bruh, man. People.
Man, you went live from a property with one of your peoples, man. You went out and saw them, and they closed on a property. That was dope.
Yeah, so they put their property on the market. I mean, phenomenal, man. And they were just talking about just how excited they was, how the process, how it took them to the front of the line. They were just saying they didn't know nothing about real estate, but now they just feel like professionals, their first property. And, they were just talking about how the system worked, bro.
Yeah, no, and that's dope. Man, we've been getting hundreds of emails from people asking about the down payment assistance program. Listen, how do you get in it? You have to go through the course. We're not going to give you no money and you don't know what you're doing. All right. So you got to go through the course, get the information. Once you go through the course, you join the alumni that meets twice a month. They meet bi-weekly. It's $100 a month. It's nothing crazy. It's just to make sure you got your fees in order. And then you're eligible for the down payment assistance program.
It's actually called the Capital Infusion.
Infusion.
Yeah, it's called the Capital Infusion Program, and it's to make
CIP.
CIP. Yep, and it's to help out. It's to give us. We noticed, and we said this before. We noticed that was stopping people. So you got the information. We gave you a team, also professionals to help you along the way. But what still got people sitting on the sideline is that they don't have enough money saved up to use their down payment, or they have their down payment money and they don't have enough capital to start the renovation process, even though they're getting a loan from the bank to renovate the property. You got to come up with that upfront money. So now we said we're going to infuse some capital, and allow you to borrow it, where you can get going, get in the game. So yeah, it's a great time, man. Fixing and flipping is, you got to ride the wave in real estate. And right now, fixing and flipping has been great. It's a market like no other because interest rates are so low. So yeah, people getting in and making, having success stories, bro.
Hey, let me say this before we get out of here. See, I talked about it, then we kind of got some real deep steps that people could take. But there are those of you, again, I told you were playing defense. Maybe more, you can explain a little bit more, maybe one or two steps, because I think you do a phenomenal job at playing offense. But there are those of us who, like Carl said, the way we're designed, we're trying to keep things out. We're trying to protect. We're in protection mode. We just want to make sure, we're getting information. And the way I look at it, Maul, is like for those of us who save. So again, it's like you getting your money, you putting it in the bank, that protection mindset. So it's not a bad thing. And I'm not trying to throw nobody under the bus. I think it's actually phenomenal that you're on defense. But I'm saying the game can't be won just on defense because defense isn't designed to score. So you're doing a very good job at protecting your family, making sure that, there are things that you guys don't have to worry about, you have to deal with. But offense is designed for your quality of life. You know what I'm saying? Defense keeps you in the game, but the offense brings a certain quality of life. So and everybody can if you want to, but more maybe you get a couple of steps to help us who are on defense to expand our defense into a little offense.
Yeah. So one thing, that I picked up, man, when I was playing ball, like I used to play quarterback too. That's a whole nother podcast. But
what?
Yeah, dog, don't worry about that. I'm gonna break it down to you.
Is this in the police league or college?
No. Thank you, Carl. No, this is not in the police league. This was in high school. But
high school.
Coach would always tell us, you throw the ball not to where the receiver is at. You throw the ball to where he's going.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're thinking about even in investing, you don't invest to where you're at right now. You don't invest to how your life is going right now. You invest for how you want your future to be or how you want your life to be. And so that's how I look at it when it comes to like real estate. So right now, all of the real estate we're doing has nothing to do with today. It has nothing to do with my life today because my life today is already covered by the real estate I bought over 20 years ago. What we're doing today is so that we can take our future lifestyle to a whole nother level. So people, they miss this a lot of times. You're investing always for the future. And like what I was showing CJ, we just closed on a property maybe a couple days ago. We just sold a property rather a couple days ago. When you look at the amount of money that we would have made off of that money in the bank, right? If we would have never bought this property and we just would have had.
Oh no, break down the numbers. Shoot.
All right, so we had Yep. So we had
you want me to get it or you got it?
Yeah, go ahead. You can pull it up.
Oh,
I know the roundabout.
I'm gonna want to make sure.
There's so many properties. Yeah, I don't even, man. Sometimes I get the numbers confused.
Okay, no, I got you.
I talked about not taking responsibility last week. So.
Okay.
And this is a property we just sold. And like I said, bro, if we got on here and talked about all the properties we did, the whole podcast every single week would be on each property. So this one here, though, just closed, I think, a week or two ago.
Hold on. As a matter of fact, I'm going to just text it to you. You read it so you can explain it. You know what I'm saying? Let me not mess it up. I just text it to the top of your hookup.
All right, here we go. So it's a property that we purchased for $58,000, E. This is what you talking about as far as playing offense now. Playing defense, E, would have been just, all right, cool. We got $58,000 in the bank. Let's just leave that money in the bank. And then let's just in case anything happens, That's defense. I'm talking defense and offense now. So defense would be, hey, let's just leave that $58,000 in the bank, right? So we purchased this property for $58,000. The renovation cost was $55,000, right? So that's $113,000 all in. So that $113,000, let me just keep that in the bank right now. So if anything happens, I got $113,000 and we're going to be okay. We're going to be able to survive a little bit. That's defense. That's the defensive mentality. The offensive mentality says, if I leave that $113,000 in the bank, 1 year can go by. And off that 1 year, I might make about $180 off of that $113,000. But I still got my $113,000.
$1,800.
Say that again.
$1,800 of interest in the bank for
no, 108. $180. So that's what I make. And then if I go to borrow that money or go to get a cashier's check, they want to charge you $8 for a cashier's check to get your own money back. That's what playing defense does to you, right? It doesn't put any points on the board. It just allows you to maintain what the score is already. But now, when you're saying offensive mentality now, it's like, all right, so I managed to get this $113,000 that's in the bank. Let me go ahead and take this money and invest $58,000 to purchase this property, right? And remember, this money has not left. I just transferred it from this bank account into the bricks, right? So now the offensive mentality says, okay, I'm gonna take $58,000, purchase this property. I'm gonna take another $55,000. I'm gonna renovate, add value to this property. And so now I still got that $113,000, right? It's still in the bricks.
Right, it's not spent. It's not spent.
I didn't spend it. I just transferred.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
Right. The value didn't go down. Matter of fact, the value went up. So now I hit $113,000. Now the value of that building now is $260,000. And so at this point, we sold the property for $240,000 and we got back a net profit. Remember, our initial investment was $113,000, E. We made a net profit after cost and fees of $103,000. We made $103,000 net profit off of transferring $113,000. Now that $103,000 net profit now goes to another. See, you keep playing offense, and it's the snowball effect. That's how you then you run up the score. That's where that offensive mentality comes from. You run up the score. But most people, so now we made $103 net profit as opposed to making $180 profit from the bank, just your money just sitting in the account. That's how you play offense, man. And with that kind of mentality now, it creates wealth. And that wealth now that you created now, it just blows up, bro. And that's how you do it.
We were so broke before we met Maul, man. It's sad. Because E used to, hey, remember E? Hey, Carl, I'm laughing because I'm going to tell you about E famous line. He used to say, I used to think if you was balling if you made six figures. Now you balling if you save six figures. So like our whole goal was like, let's get six figures saved in the bank. We thought we was going to be on top of the world, just didn't have the right information.
Yeah, but we were on top of the world in terms of our world, Maul.
Blue collar top.
For our world.
Blue collar.
Yeah, you got.
Hey, I heard a little bit of it when we first got together, and I was talking to C, and we making money, and C like, oh man, okay, cool, man, yeah, we gonna man pay this out. Everybody do this, everybody do that. I was like, that's defense, dog. I was like, then it's going. I'm like,
we defend. Bro, we was the Bears.
I was like,
we was the Bears.
I'm like, hey, I'm Ron Artest. Meta world peace.
Bro.
I'm at the palace scrapping.
I was Ronnie Lott. I was Ronnie Lott. I would kill it though.
I was like, we could take the money, and I was like, we can double it or triple it by transferring into this account and doing this. And C was looking at me like, huh? I was like, bruh, like straight up, like if we just take the money and just split it and put it in everybody's account, I said it's just gonna sit in the account. It ain't. What is it gonna do? It's playing defense. It's just sitting in your account. But if we got this account together and then we invest and then triple the money. And now he like, oh no, I see it. He see the vision. Now he every dollar we get, CJ be like, what we investing in?
Oh, bro.
Hey, Moose said something to me this week that I was like, wow, that's deep. Moose said the worst thing in the world to be is slightly successful.
Yeah.
Worst thing in the world to be is to be slightly successful. Because Maul, it's like you 2 or 3 steps from breaking through, but bruh, you a half a step from falling right back.
And that's what I mean, though, Carl, about defense. What defense does, it allows you to potentially always win. You look at a team that win a championship, bro. Football, I don't care what it is, basketball, they playing some defense.
Yeah,
for sure.
So even if y'all remember those teams that used to just be like offensive beast, like for real, everybody like Gonzaga got to be careful. They number 1, but they ain't went up against no defense yet. And so the thing is, everybody's shooting, but when you get that defense on you, are you going to be able to, 1, keep making those shots, and then 2, are you going to be able to score on the defense?
You know what's crazy, though? I think Maul, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Maul's defense now is, like he said, knowing the numbers, the crime stats. You feel me? That's his defense. It's like, I ain't just about to just, you know what I'm saying? I'm not just pulling up blind from half court. I'm pulling up from deep with the correct information around me. That's the defense now. Instead of not doing it, it's making sure that you understand what you're doing before you do it.
And what I know too, man, a great offense is another defense.
It's
a great offense. You look at Golden. If you look at Golden State, look at Golden State. I don't even know if Golden State had if everybody on there was playing defense like that, but they put up so many points that you couldn't catch up.
They had defense though. They did have defense. Like you couldn't see it, but it was there. Draymond, even KD could play. Now I don't know about Stephen, but he played.
But they was just like every time they shot a 3,
right? It
and you shooting a 2, they gonna keep being up 1 point each time.
They definitely was outscoring folk. That's not. And
then they had a little defense there. But I want to end with Carl. Let's switch it now, Carl. Let's switch it. It's gonna be tough for you, but I need you to talk about, and I'll lead. But let's talk about offense now from a relationship standpoint. So again, Maul said it. What I had to do, Maul, was I had to stop seeing my mother from a defensive standpoint.
Yeah.
Like I had to stop seeing that relationship as the person that lied to me about my biological father. Because it was so much more to her than that. But I had minimized her to that at some point in my younger years. So to your point, I had to start seeing my mom offensively. Like, yo, E, don't think about what happened up until you're 16, 17 years old. Let's think about the future, like you said, Maul. What do you want the relationship to look like?
Yeah.
You feel me? What do you want your relationship with your father who raised you to look like? What do you want the relationship with your biological father to look like? What do you want the relationship with your siblings to look like? What do you want? Because for real, Mama, be real. I literally got caught up on defense. So I'm gonna just give you an example. If I got a sibling, who talking reckless, I'm like, yo, I'm through. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on defense. Like I'm not gonna continue to be in your presence and have you disrespect me or do what I don't feel like you should be doing. Whatever it is you're doing that I don't feel like is beneficial to me, I'm just like, oh, I'm not trying to be mean or nothing, but I'm playing defense. Like I feel like I've been hurt enough in my life that the last 30, 40, 50 years of my life, I'm not necessarily interested in dealing with that drama. You feel me? So I had nothing to do against you. I just don't want to deal with drama. But what I was doing, Maul, I had the defense of when you do X, Y, and Z, you're not getting, you know what I'm saying? You're not breaking through this. But I never thought, Maul, oh, that's cool, you could do that. But what would you want it to look like if it was phenomenal? Now you can start working on that. So what does that mean? That means don't go so long without talking to your mom. You feel me? That means when you have an opportunity to give gifts, to your mom. When you have opportunities to be a blessing, I got a hook up for right now. Some school called me and was like, yo, we want you to do parent stuff. I'm like, well, you might as well get my mom on, give my mom a small check, give my mom some exposure, helped her with the book, whatever. So it's like now I'm thinking about our future. And okay, what do I want the grandkids to think about you? Well, even sometimes I got to get on my kids. Like, come on, y'all. I know y'all balling, but call your grandma. Like, I know you in school. I know you doing your thing. Pick up the phone, call your grandma. So I think that's important. And Carl, maybe you could speak to it because we're both emotional and relational. You feel me? And so for me though, Maul, I've literally started thinking, what are the bricks in my relationship looks like? You feel me? What do the bricks in my relationship look like? And not necessarily with people who who I get along with, but maybe that there has been some issues. You feel me? Like, what are the bricks? What is a house and flipping a house look like in a relationship? And I've been working on like that legacy, Maul, like not how much money you gonna make, not you, Dee, Jalen, and Jada, but their family. My aunt hit me after every sermon. I was able to get, thanks to Swiss Hotel, you know what I'm saying? Our boy Ted, I was able to get the penthouse boy up top, bring my grandma, my aunt in, give my grandma breakfast. You feel me? And just love on her. They bringing in what she like. So for me, now I'm also looking at the bricks in my relationship and just saying, okay, E, what do you want it to look like? And even though all of them don't look like that today, what do you want them to look like in 3, in 5, in 7, and fixing that as well? So that's what I mean, Maul, by relationally, I've been on defense. I don't want to get hurt, so I put up these walls. But then the challenge with the defense is, you stop them from coming in and hurting you, but you also stop the Lord from being able to increase and flourish because you got all these walls. Like, put a couple windows at least in the crib, or put a door or two in that joker. You feel what I'm saying? Like the way my crib built in now, I got a whole wall that's a sliding door. And God was like, you can put the walls up because you don't need to get hurt. You do need to protect yourself from the elements, but you don't need to have no windows. And some of y'all, you ain't got no windows in your crib, no doors in your crib, no garage door in your crib. You just got that joker like Fort Knox. And so, Carl, for you, what are some of the things that you think people can do relationally to to go from defense to offense?
Oh, bro, I'm just processing all the stuff you just said. That's all the stuff I need to do. No, but that's so huge because the dangerous thing is, man, you create what you think. That's the super dangerous part. You create what you think. And I'm telling you, like, you just convicted me more. But the reality is I keep thinking, like, I know E's schedule. He got a lot going on. He busy. I'm not even going to call E on nothing. Like, he just busy. C got too much going on.
He ain't got nothing to do.
I was just going to say, Paul, tell C that.
He ain't got nothing to do, Carl. You been hoodwinked. He ain't got nothing to do.
That's what I play in my mind, though. And not now. I played that for 5 years, 10 years. Like, man, these dudes, I'm around them. I know they got a lot going on. How dare me take up the phone, E, and just like, yo, E, what's up? Hey, we used to joke, E. A dude called E one time, like, man, I miss your voice. I just want to hear your voice. But just to be real, like, I'm like, man, I ain't want to bother them. Like, if I need something, I know I could call them at any time. Yeah, that's the flaw. Let me say that right there. That's the flaw. It's like anything. You got to nurture the things that you need. And I'm talking to myself. I ain't even talking to nobody else. Like, you got to nurture the things that's important to you. Outside of my family, y'all, let me just be real. This is it. I ain't got no, like, high school buddies that we hang out together on the weekend. I ain't got outside of my family here. Like, this is the other people I call. Nikki, Moose, it's everybody right here, Lashana. Mm-hmm. So if I'm not taking care of this, to E's point, 5 years from now, like, what do I have? I'm not going to get this caliber of relationship.
You're right. You got
I ain't got this caliber of relationship nowhere else. Not saying that I can't meet people, but, dude, we got 10, 15 years invested already. I'm not going to find this nowhere else. So, hey, my confessions on this podcast, I got to do better. I'm committed to calling y'all a couple more times a week now. My confessions are out here. But E, like, seriously, that's it. Like, that's it for everybody out there that's like me, that you're overthinking in your head. Let them tell you, hey, let me call you back. Put the ball in their court, but you don't not throw the ball. Like, always throw the ball. Like, that's the offensive mindset. You always throw the rock, and if they can't do something with it, that's on them, but it won't be on. You can't lay down at night and think like, man, I should have, or I could have, or I called, and I'm gonna call again tomorrow. And I'm going to call after that. And at some point in time, we going to connect. But I can't not throw the ball. That's my resolution. E.
Hey, somebody said to me the other day, like, yo, bro, I ain't trying to be funny. They was like, yo, y'all should be charging for that podcast. I was like, no doubt.
Coming soon. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. We are about to start busting y'all over their head for this.
Y'all better hope my little Snoopy plane keep flying that Joker.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. He playing so erratic. He playing all over the place. That joke.
Y'all better hope my plane keep going, because if not, y'all go. If C plane go, y'all gonna be playing. Y'all go. Hey, y'all gonna be helping with some of these bricks if CJ get to do it the way he wants.
Hey, I'm just waiting to see the editing that they put in for the IG clip E on the little side of me. I need somebody to come with that whole graphic. And who is it, Marshall? Who can do that? Carl, I need it done. I need that image of me and E in the big car and the little sidecar right now. Danny DeVito and Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know what I'm saying? Twins.
Twin pilots.
All right. Hey, you can tell when he ain't got nothing to do. He just trying to extend the podcast.
Hey, man, unlike y'all jokers, I got to go teach a class real quick. I got to go teach.
What time?
Don't worry about that. I just got to go teach.
I'm all about to go work out.
Ball class at 1 o'clock.
No, my class ain't at 1 o'clock. My class is
Hey. Go Green.
Get a lunch break, boss.
Go Green. The tournament starting. We don't know what's going on. We might have already played. I don't even know. We're not recording this on Thursday, so tournament started tonight. Go Green, go White, all the way.
See, I do want to just say one thing, man. I'm looking over your right shoulder right there, and I see the right there. So I just appreciate you. Last podcast, you left me out, but I appreciate that, brother.
I told you, dog. It's levels, dog. It's levels.
Hey, E, watch this. Both C and Maul was supposed to send my copy, and I ain't got it yet.
No, that joker was supposed to brought your copy.
He was supposed to, and then you said you was gonna mail it. Which one of y'all gonna take responsibility?
Oh,
hey, listen to me.
I'm sorry, man. We've been so busy fixing up property, trying to make money.
CJ ain't trying to give it to you. Hey, I'm gonna tell you this though. If C want to get something done, he get done quick. If he ain't interested, it ain't getting done.
But I ain't got no book yet. See, that's all I'm saying.
Look,
you got the audio book yet?
I do have the audio book.
What you know? It's the ebook too, right? You know what I'm saying?
I can't put that on my shelf. See,
no, you know what? Though,
that on the shelf.
Real talk. I wanted to actually. What we need to do is have CJ, because I don't even have any books here in Chicago anymore. They all gone. So I want CJ to bring me a book when we get together in Florida, because I want to write something in there, man. I just didn't want to send you just a blank copy. Come on, that's not. Come on.
That's a nice save, Maul. That's a nice save.
It's a great save. Hey, win.
For the police department for 20 years, dog.
Hey, win, Maul. I need some accountability. Win.
I need CJ to bring the book, because he has them all in.
Don't get me involved in what y'all got
going on. All the books are in Georgia. All the books are in Georgia. I can't, you know what I'm saying? All the books in Georgia. Now, CJ he can ask me, though, to bring a whole case of more annoying hot links to Florida, but he can't pick up a book.
Hey, y'all giving these people y'all stuff. Send them out, see, and y'all can talk about this when y'all push stop recording.
Oh, I thought we've been stopped recording. We still recording?
We still recording.
Love y'all. We'll see you next week.
Let's go.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity